Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in to talk about Black Clover chapter 294. Hey everyone. Okay, so address the title really quickly. Quick recap. What does this chapter do? Well, first, we get to see the fallout of Magna's battle. We get to see something cool there and I have quite a lot of thoughts there. And we also find out what Lolo's been up to. We finally know what's going on. Vanica has her, and as we see here, she is possessed. That is unfortunate. As you can see from the spells, it's most likely she's being controlled. She doesn't know what she's doing. At the end of the chapter, you have Noelle coming in to take on Vanica, while Lolo's friend comes in to try and save her. So this is going to be very exciting. But of course, we will talk about that and Magna. Let's get into the video. So, this chapter, we end up covering a lot because it serves as a transition chapter. We deal with Magna. We go to, I believe the second part. Yeah, I don't believe there's anything in between it. Actually, yeah, no, there is something. We go into a quick update about the ritual, and then we go into Lolo and Vanica and all that stuff, and Noelle showing up, which is going to be great because we have another fight set up and all that. So overall, it's a pretty full chapter, and you could agree, it's a transition chapter. Now, to talk about Magna's part first, he deserved that win, and as we saw in the chapter, the stuff that I was talking about previously about the guy Dante coming back, lo and behold, it happened. This kind of stuff, it's just like authors can't resist. They can't resist putting in that little footnote and like slightly changing up the slightly changing a character's way and putting that little addendum. Now, mind you, what I was afraid of, the worst of what I was afraid of, Jack also, he came in here and he fixed it. Like when Jack is saying like you're not taking away this guy's win, exactly, that's how I felt. But it cannot be understated. These authors, they do not like giving victories like this to people like Magna. This is something that just fundamentally you will never see them just give a straight win. And like this is just one of those. I should say I should never say. I shouldn't be saying never. Like it really just takes one author to buck the trend. But when I look back to my concerns and I see that in this case, it doesn't even look like it was a forced possession. In this case, from what it reads like, the guy's mana returned quickly enough that his magic was able to go out of control. Like it's burning mana from somewhere. So in this case, it's just so interesting, right? Now, again, Jack coming in here and getting his moment and also making that really nice statement about you're not going to rain on his parade. I like that. I really like that. Like, honestly, this is probably one of the better ways of doing it. The thing here, though, is the reality that Dante did, in fact, have a second wind. Mind you, it was uncontrollable, and it serves to ultimately make a good statement, but he got the second wind. So, when it comes to these kind of situations, the way you gotta look at it is you take the mechanism itself, and then you look at everything else. Like, if Magna was alone, Magna loses. That's the implication here, because Magna was done. If Magna's alone, he loses. This requires people being there to help him, to make sure that everything goes down. And there's nothing wrong with that. In other series, you can have a character whose power specifically relies on the fact that people will be there to clean up after he's puttered out, right? That is completely fine. But that is what should be taken away here. And I think in this case, having Dante stand back up, in terms of the narrative, it says that Dante doesn't just go down like a chump. And two, I think when you see that Jack is the one that does this, I think it's also there to maybe save face for Jack. Make him look like he did something worthwhile here. But, these little asterisks, ultimately I will praise that they didn't completely rob Magna here. And I will praise that at least Jack reflected my own opinion on this thing, because that is nice, but it cannot be underappreciated, this mechanism that occurs in Battle Shonen. And the thing you have to remember there again is just, if Magna was alone, he loses. And that actually brings me to the next point. Like, honestly, I never really talk about morals when it comes to Black Clover, but these people are knights fighting quite literally devil worshippers who have no problem destroying nations. This is where you really, the naivety of thinking you can leave someone knocked out on the floor is stupid. They're knights. They get involved in sketchy things. They are protecting a country. They should probably consider completely offing someone before they walk away from a battle scene. But thankfully we have Jack, and Jack is much more reasonable. Mind you, he is also slightly insane. But yeah, overall, I'm happy that Magna's win was maintained was maintained by appearances, but I do take note of the fact that he was not allowed a full victory here. Now, there was something interesting in this first little bit that they were talking about, that being everyone is just surprised that he did it, and everyone keeps wondering, like, oh, what kind of spell did this guy use? And this actually brings up a really good point. The Black Clover universe is lucky that there's nothing that, well, asterisk. Asta invalidates everything. But they're lucky that the devils don't have any method of overpowering a spell. They are very lucky because, like in other series, flat out, like in Bleach, Aizen is too powerful for complex techniques. Like, just by the virtue of being too powerful, he's able to invalidate it altogether. And other series also have these kind of mechanisms that just keep complex maneuvers from really touching them after a certain point. I do appreciate that Black Clover doesn't do that aside from Asta. That's really good, and everyone wondering about the spell is also a pretty cool thing. When you have Jack here also saying that he got to see something really interesting and smiling like that, I really wonder if this is going to create something for him, if he's going to look at things in a different way because of his origins. I really wonder if this is going to mean like a bigger upgrade for Jack in the future here. Anyway, the next segment, we have Vanica fighting Charlotte and Artist Guy, which I've... Wait. I think I have it. Oh, I lost it. Gonna have to just call him Artist Captain. Anyway, Charlotte has some good moments here, but I just want to point out Vanica first. Like, just... her boobs look like gag boobs. It looks like Looney Tunes, man. Just with the way they're bouncing around there. Like, it's goofy. But when you look at the rest of the picture... you know, she looks kind of goofy. She looks very cartoonish. So I think that's the effect. Anyway, we go into the reveal of Lolo being controlled, and we see her doing some pretty cool wicked magic. And it's also being amplified, as we know, from the curse. Yeah, no, man, this is supercharged. It's cool to see it here. I'm very happy to see it. I'm happy that we know what's going on with the girl. And in terms of rhetoric, I do think it's nice that you have Charlotte identifying with Lolo and saying that, and using her experience of knowing how it feels to be under a curse to motivate her. I think she has some good shots here. I kind of think I would have liked a little bit more back and forth for this portion, but in the grand scheme of things, Noelle's coming in. That's all good. I can't wait to see what exactly Noelle's going to do. Vanica always has great faces, and her faces here on the Noelle page are pretty great. But given the amazingness of the Magna fight, honestly, I'm excited. I think this could only be good. I think we can only get some cool things. Like, heck, even Charlotte, even though she loses, or not loses, but, you know, she gets incapacitated here. Like, when she look at... it looks like she's incapacitated. I think she had a pretty good showing in general. I would have liked more, but that just slows things down. Like, she's not meant to win against Vanica. That's a Noelle thing. I am excited to see what kind of... if we get, like, a really cool team fight, though, I would... My critiques here would be completely destroyed. If we get a good team fight with the 4 people versus the 2, I think that would legitimately look pretty cool. But yeah, overall, with Black Clover, Chapter 294, my point of interest is really on Magna stuff. Just because, like, it's such a narrative technique. I understand it. People don't like admitting it out loud, but this is something they do. I legitimately am happy that I was right to be concerned about it. Again, they handled it well because at least they had Jack act as a mechanism that reflected the feeling here. And I do like that they're talking about the mechanism. I guess we should also point out there's quite a lot of demons here. But yeah, next week, it can only be good things. Noelle is only ever good stuff. So guys, let me know what you thought down below, and until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.